Right now at 5, a St. Augustine priest is in the hospital after being stabbed this morning. According to the Episcopal Diocese of Florida, Reverend Matt Marino was stabbed in the chest just blocks from downtown in the ancient city.
Reverend Marino served at Trinity Parish, not far from where he was stabbed. This happened in front of a cafe near the intersection of San Marco and Road Avenues. News4Jax reporter Khalil Maycon joining us live from the attack site. Khalil, the police department just gave an update about the arrest of Ariana Gibbs.
Joy, they mentioned that Ariana Gibbs was arrested on 3 charges, one being attempted homicide, 2nd degree. They also gave an update on Father Marino, saying that he is in a stable condition. And I spoke with someone earlier who saw the aftermath of all of this, and he described this as scary. This picture taken earlier this morning shows a St. Augustine police vehicle and a fire engine. It's in response to the stabbing of Father Matt Marino. The Episcopal Diocese of Florida released a statement on their social media saying Marino was stabbed in the chest while at breakfast. Police say it happened around 8 this morning in this area. 22-year-old Ariana Gibbs was arrested in connection to the incident. Police say Marino is now in stable condition, and they believe this was a random act.
So it was pretty wild.
That was a man who didn't want to be identified. He works across the street from where everything unfolded. He described seeing blood coming from Marino and people jump into action to stop Gibbs from leaving the scene. What was it like to see all of that unfold?
Oh, at the time, it was just kind of like, hey, try to help the person. But then after, it was pretty shocking because, I don't really hear about stuff like that happening in this area,
Father Marino worked at Trinity Parish, which is only minutes from where he was stabbed. According to his About Me page, he liked to drink coffee, talk about Jesus, and will shamelessly invite himself aboard your sailboat. And the man who didn't want to be identified says he's glad the priest is doing okay, and he hopes he makes a speedy recovery. And the Episcopal Diocese of Florida sent me a statement saying, in part, our heartfelt gratitude goes out to the skilled paramedics and law enforcement officers who cared for Father Matt. And for the doctors and nurses who are currently caring for him, we will provide updates as they become available. Now, once police find out more about this, we'll make sure to keep you updated as well. Reporting live in St. Augustine, Khalil Maycock, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Khalil.
Tonight, a St. Augustine priest is recovering in the hospital after being stabbed this morning in what police are calling a random attack. Thank you for joining us for First Coast News at 11. I'm Heather Crawford. My co-anchor Anthony Austin has the night off. The suspect, this woman, 22-year-old Ariana Gibbs, is being held without bond tonight in the St. Johns County Jail. Our Christina Burgess is in downtown St. Augustine speaking with a business owner in this area.
Extremely unusual is how Michael Reese described this crime that happened just down the street from his job in an area of town that he says is usually busy, but overall safe.
Shocking. And right there, just right down the block.
Michael Reese is left in disbelief once he heard a man was stabbed this morning on the corner of San Marco and Road Avenue, just feet away from the store where he works.
Right down the street. It seems very odd, because this is not that kind of community. That's unusual, extremely unusual.
According to St. Augustine police, the man stabbed was Father Matt Marino, pastor of Trinity Parish on St. George Street. In a post by the Episcopal Diocese of Florida, they say Father Marino was stabbed while having coffee. Police arrested 22-year-old Ariana Gibbs for the stabbing and say it was a random attack.
That's not a usual thing. I mean, it barely happens. 1 or 2 accidents, 1 or 2 incidents, but it's usually tourism. Maybe they're a little too crazy or they got a little too excited, but nothing like that kind of violence.
While Gibbs remains behind bars, Father Marino is awake and in stable condition, with members of his community sending prayers his way.
I'm glad, she was taken into custody, and I'm glad he's okay and stable. That's where my prayers go.
Ariana Gibbs is currently being held in the St. Johns County Jail without bond. Reporting in St. Augustine, Christina Burgess, First Coast News on your side.
For the woman accused of stabbing a St. Augustine priest last week, 22-year-old Ariana Gibbs made her first appearance in a St. Johns County courtroom today after police say Gibbs stabbed Trinity Parish priest Father Marino in what they describe as a random attack.
Our Christina Burgess was in the courtroom today and reports before the judge made his ruling he heard from someone who encountered Gibbs first.
With hands shackled, Ariana Gibbs is seated in a St. Johns County courtroom face to face with a judge for the first time. The 22-year-old woman is accused of stabbing St. Augustine priest Father Matt Marino last Wednesday while he was out enjoying a coffee. An incident local law enforcement quickly responded to. Officer Jason Etheridge is one of those responders. He was the first witness called by the state today during Gibbs' hearing.
Laying on the ground, looked like he was having a hard time breathing and appeared they had stabbed him somewhere in the upper chest area.
After Officer Etheridge, the judge heard from Emmy Lou Burgos, the 26-year-old McDonald's employee who police say Gibbs tried to stab before stabbing Father Marino.
And then she went to me and she took my arm, my left arm, really strong. And she said something to me that I don't remember what was it because I was so confused because I was cleaning. I was not talking to somebody. And she said something to me and then she took out a knife and she tried to stab me in my arm, this arm.
This is the first serious case that she's ever been accused of.
Gibbs' attorney went before the judge saying she has no prior felonies and requested a bond, telling the judge Gibbs would be present at court hearings and even suggested she wear a GPS monitor. The state used their two witnesses from today and Father Marino's serious injuries to show the judge why they believe Gibbs should have her bond denied. The judge granted the state's motion keeping Gibbs in jail without bond. Christina Burgess, First Coast News, on your side.